Windsor was built in the 11th century after the Norman invasion of England by William the Conqueror. Since the time of Henry I, it has been used by the reigning monarch and is the longest occupied palace in Europe. Windsor was built as a moat and bailey castle with 3 wards surrounding a central mound. Gradually replaced with stone fortifications, the castle withstood a siege during the First Barons' War in the 13th century. Henry III built a luxurious royal palace within the castle during the middle of the century, and Edward III renovated the palace to make an even grander set of buildings in what would become the most expensive secular building project of the entire Middle Ages in England. Edward's core design lasted through the Tudor period, during which Henry VIII and Elizabeth I made increasing use of the castle as a royal court and center for diplomatic entertainment. During the English Civil War, it was used as military headquarters for Cromwell's forces and a prison for Charles I. When the monarchy was restored in 1660, Charles II rebuilt much of the castle with the help of the architect Hugh May. After a period of neglect in the 18th century, George III and George IV renovated the palace at colossal expense. Queen Victoria made a few minor changes as the castle became the center for royal entertainment during much of her reign. The royal family used it during the bombings of the Second World War. It survived a major fire in 1992, and it is the preferred weekend home of Elizabeth II. At the heart of Windsor Castle is the Middle Ward, a bailey formed around the moat, or artificial hill in the center of the ward. The moat is 50 feet high and is made from chalk, originally excavated from the surrounding ditch, which has been converted into a garden area. The keep, called the Round Tower, on the top of the moat, is based on an original 12th century building that was extended upwards an additional 30 feet in the 19th century. The western entrance to the Middle Ward leads onto the North Terrace. The eastern exit from the Middle Ward is guarded by the Norman Gatehouse, which forms an impressive entrance to the Upper Ward. The Upper Ward of the castle contains several major buildings enclosed by the Upper Bailey Wall, which forms a central quadrangle. The state apartments run along the north wall of this ward, while the royal apartments occupy the south wall. The King George IV Gate also makes up part of the south wall, with the Edward III Tower in the southwest corner. A bronze statue of Charles II on horseback sits beneath the Round Tower. The Upper Ward adjoins the North Terrace, which overlooks the River Thames, and the East Terrace, which overlooks the gardens at the base of the Round Tower. The skyline of the Upper Ward is designed to provide a dramatic scene of tall towers and battlements when seen from a distance or silhouetted against the horizon. A major fire damaged parts of the royal apartments in this section of the castle in 1992. The Lower Ward holds St. George's Chapel and most of the buildings associated with the Order of the Garter. St. George's Chapel is the spiritual home of the Order of the Knights of the Garter and dates from the late 15th and early 16th century. It is designed in the Perpendicular Gothic style. Ornate wooden stalls are decorated with a unique set of brass plates showing the arms of the Knights of the Garter over the last 6 centuries. The vault in front of the altar houses the remains of Henry VIII, Jane Seymour, and Charles I, with Edward IV buried nearby. An evensong service is performed every day by a men's choir and is free to attend. At the east end of the St. George's Chapel is the Ladies' Chapel. Originally built by Henry III in the 13th century, it was converted into the Albert Memorial Chapel between 1863 and 1873 to commemorate the life of Prince Albert.